Hi guys, OMG Vapes finally back for another review, and this time we're taking a look at the Sumo RDA by Bruce Pro Innovations. Yes, so guys, today we're looking at the Sumo RDA by Bruce Pro Innovations. Now, Bruce Pro Innovations was working with DovPro and created the Bushido RDA, but now Bruce has gone out on his own, is making his own run of RDAs, and this is his first one. Now, it does share some similarities to the Bushido, especially in the deck area. Now, I picked this up from eSig1 for $24.99. Now, some specs on this: it's a 25mm RDA. It has bottom, side and drip tip airflow. It has a unique juice dispersion dome built into the positive post. And as far as I can see, it only comes in a matte black finish. Now, during the time from me recording the up close and now, I have made my own drip tip using a Twisted Message V1 plastic drip tip, what came with it. Now, all you do is cut the bottom off and score a ridge in the base of this, and it fits in perfectly, and it closes off that god awful airflow. So just a little update there. Now let's see how she vapes. I've got a dual fuse Clapton build in this. I've got it running at 0.17. It's a 7 wrap space coil, and I've got it sitting on here with Seago Moonbox, and it's running at 100 watts. And this is how she vapes. I've got the side airflow closed off, just the bottom airflow open, and because of this drip tip, I've got the top drip tip airflow closed off as well, so keep that in mind. Now, closing that drip tip airflow off has restricted it enough to give it a really nice vape with just that bottom airflow. It reminds me a lot of the Kennedy RDA. So if you do want to get hold of this, and you do, or you have already picked it up, you've got to have a Twisted Message. Everyone's got a Twisted Message V1. So that plastic drip tip what come with it, Bob's your uncle. Just lock the bottom off and stick it in. Job's a good one. So without further ado, we're going to dive down to the closely cam. I'm going to show you the packaging, what you get in the box, build it, wick it, and all that good shit. So let's go. And here we go with the packaging for the Sumo RDA by Bruce Pro Innovations. It's the front of the box. You got Bruce Pro Innovations on the front with Sumo RDA and their logo. Nothing on the side. Same on the back. Nothing on that side. Nothing on the top. Nothing on the bottom. Pretty decent packaging. Nice and dainty. Classy. And you open the packaging, and there's the RDA. You also get this baggie containing some O-rings and some spare screws. Very nice. All the RDA. Nothing else in the box. And here's the star of the show, the Sumo RDA. First of all, let's do some measurements on it. Right, the diameter is 25 mil, just over. Top to bottom, not including the drip tip or the 510, is 29.4. With the drip tip, you're looking 37.4, and with the drip tip and the 510, 42.5. First of all, you've got this drip tip. It's proprietary, it's not 810, and no other drip tips I can find to fit this. It has got this airflow built in, as you can see, and it corresponds with the air channels on the top. It doesn't go down to the coils, it just cools the vapour coming past the drip tip. There's your top cap. You got your cutouts for your airflow. No single coil option, just dual coil only. There's your O-ring. You got your barrel. This unique airflow. Looks like a TIE fighter in my opinion. Out of Star Wars. Nice deep engraving on the design. And it's this very nice matte black finish. Machined very well. No burrs, no scratches. Very nice. And here's the deck. It's a standard velocity deck, but instead the airflow comes in from underneath and it comes out from behind the coil through the post, not actually underneath. Also got this very nice dome on top, which is gold plated along with the post, and this is supposed to be a juice dispersion dome, so when you drip your juice down the centre it disperses onto each coil. But with this you have to make sure that when you build that you place your coils directly as close to the post as you can and as close to this mushroom as you can. Otherwise the juice, when you drip it down, it disperses along the top and flows inside the coil and into the airflow. So you have to keep that coil pretty tight, which I'll show you in the build anyway. Nice flathead post screws. Double O-ring on the bottom, and as I said you got your airflow on the bottom as well. Underneath you've got Bruce, the name of the maker, and USA, serial number, and the logo, Bruce Pro Innovations, and also a couple of fist logos there. Nice protruding copper 510, static, very nice. I believe the maker of this RDA is the guy that made the Bushido from DovPo. I think they was working together and he's gone out on his own, started making his own. Because if you actually look at the Bushido deck, it's exactly the same as this, only stainless steel. Now one of the concerns I've got is the matte black finish they've carried on into the deck, which I'm not a fan of, because I don't like vaping knowing there's paint there which could flake off and potentially get breathed in when you're sucking on the vapour. So that is going to be a con. But apart from that, the machining and the innovation on the deck is quite good. Pop it back together. Pop your airflow in. Now when you first get this, the O-rings on this are absolutely ridiculously tight. I had to swap them out for some smaller ones just so I could be able to move it around. As you can see, the airflow is smooth, but before this I couldn't even move that airflow, it was that tight. And to adjust your airflow, you just move it, turn the top cap, and as you can see, closing up, closing up, closing up. You can completely close off the side airflow and just have the bottom airflow. But you can't close the drip tip airflow. There's no way of closing that off, which I think again is going to be a con, because I don't like that. I don't believe this drip tip airflow is any good. It never has been, and it shouldn't be used. So definitely give it a con. And the fact that it's proprietary and you can't change it out or adjust it. If they made it adjustable so you could close it off, that'd be half as good. And if they made it 810, that'd be even better, because you could take that drip tip out and just pop your own in and close the airflow off. Now, a lot of the reviews on this have been complaining about there's way too much airflow on this. But the way I see it, it's designed as a cloud chasing RDA, and that's what I am specifically using it for. I bought this only for my box mod tests when I'm doing the 200 watt test. I needed a decent RDA with loads of airflow because I don't like a really hot vape. And having tested this at 200 watts, it vapes beautiful. It's really smooth and it's really cool. So you can blow massive clouds at high power and not get your face burned off. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it. And in that context, the airflow is where it should be. Now, if you want to use this as a normal RDA, it's not going to be that easy because there is way too much airflow. Even if you close off that middle and just have the bottom, it's slightly too much. There's no restriction there because of this drip tip airflow. I did get a chameleon sleeve off a drip tip and push it inside this drip tip and close off the airflow that way, and it actually made the vape really nice. At low wattages, it closes out. This airflow on its own is just the right restriction for me if you can close the top airflow off, but you can't, so that's going to be a con. And there's just slightly too much with that drip tip airflow, so it is what it is. But as I said, in that context of using it as a balls to the wall cloud chaser, it works absolutely stonkingly. So let's adjust the camera and I'll show you how to build and whip this bad boy. and we return. So guys, before I do anything else, I want to show you what it's like vaping around the 200 watt mark. So I'm going to open the airflow open, about halfway. I'm going to wang this up to 200 watts and see how she vapes. Now, this is a balls to the wall cloud chugger, guys, and it's got oodles of airflow. I can open that up a bit more, open it fully, because I have closed that drip tip airflow off, so I think I'm going to need that fully wide open. Lovely. Now, that's a 200 watts, guys. Now with that drip tip airflow, it does make it slightly over the airflow mark and gives it a bit too much airflow. But now I've closed that off, it's just right. So let's do some pros and cons on this, guys. Right, pro number one is the fit and finish. Now it's got a lovely matte black coating on it, similar to the Dead Rabbit, and it's just beautiful. The machining is top quality, no burrs, no scratches. It came to me clean, 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 no machine oil. It was absolutely spotless, so that's got to be a pro. Pro number two is the packaging. Now normally for 25 quid you get a clamshell design plastic case with the RDA stuck in it, but this, no, they went a little bit extra and gave nice little classy box. So it's got to be a pro. Another pro is the oodles of airflow options, guys. This has got a real lot of airflow, and to me, for my purpose, it's perfect, because all I bought it for is to do the 200 watt tests with the box mods. So for that specific area, it's perfect. Now to vape normally with that drip tip airflow open, it's slightly too much and you can't get a decent vape. But now I've closed it off, I can close the middle airflow down and just use the bottom airflow, and it vapes nice. And another pro is that mushroom dome dispersion cap in the deck. It does work, guys, as you can see from the up and close. When you drip your juice, it does disperse over both your coils evenly, but you've got to get the coils right. You've got to get them as close to the post as you can and as close to that mushroom as you can. Otherwise, when you drip it down, it'll seep behind and through the airflow and out the bottom. And the last pro is the big subjective pro on this, guys, and that's the airflow. Now, for a balls to the wall cloud chaser, it's absolutely stonking. You need loads of airflow when you're vaping 150 to 200 watts. So in my book, especially for my use, what I bought it for, it works perfectly. So it's got to be a pro, but it's also going to be a con, which I'll get onto in a minute. Now, con number one is the proprietary drip tip. They've got to stop doing it. Not only is this proprietary and you can't use your own drip tips in it, but they've made that drip tip airflow, which is absolutely awful. I don't agree with it. I don't think it works at all. So I don't know why they keep putting it on here. Companies keep doing it over and over again, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Now, another slight con is the finish in the deck. They've carried on the matte black finish through into the deck. I don't agree with that. I don't like vaping stuff what's got paint on the inside, because you haven't got a clue that's flaking off and you're breathing it in. So I'd rather see just a stainless steel deck or a gold plated deck. Another con is the O-rings. When you first get this, the O-rings are absolutely stuck like glue. They're like concrete, you cannot move nothing. So I had to swap them out for slightly smaller O-rings, and that's got to be a con, because you shouldn't have to do that. It should be perfect from the get-go, but this wasn't. I could not even move the airflow, it was that tight. I couldn't get the top off. If you tried to use this on a Predator back in the day and tried to take that top cap off, you'd have ended up pulling the 510 out, because it was that stiff. So it's got to be a con, because like I said, it should come out of the box perfect. And the last con is, as I said, the airflow. It's also a pro, but it's also a con, because with that drip tip airflow, it's too much airflow and you can't get decent vape at lower wattages, which a lot of people are going to buy this RDA and they're going to want to vape around 60 to 70 watts, and because of the airflow you just can't do that unless you adapt it like I have. So guys, is it a thumbs up or is it a thumbs down? Well guys, it's a thumbs up for the uses I'm using it for, but I can't recommend it to anybody because they're going to have a shit time trying to vape at lower wattages. So I'm not going to recommend it to you. If you want an RDA for just balls to the wall, cloud chasing and no flavour, maybe take it down the pub on a Saturday night to try and impress your mates, but that's about it. As far as that goes, as a normal RDA, it's not going to work, so I can't recommend it for that. And that's it for this review guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching as always, and remember, smoking kills, choose life. See you guys.